What made your parents regret grounding you within 24 hours? When I was 15, my parents grounded me so hard that saving 4 lives is the only reason I got my door back. And yeah, I earned the grounding. I told them I was at my cousin's working on a school project. In reality, I took a bus 2 towns over to a concert with people they had never met. I got home at 12:52 a.m., jacket zipped over the wristband, shoes off at the porch. I eased the front door open, made it 3 steps, and the hallway light snapped on. Mom was on the stairs. Dad was next to her holding my bus ticket. It had fallen out of my pocket in the driveway. Dad looked at it, then at me, and said, "Long project." They had known for hours. My cousin's mom had called ours to ask why I never showed. I was caught before I touched the stairs. Dad stayed quiet. Mom did the talking, not yelling. That low voice that is somehow worse. She kept repeating, "We called every person we know." Dad collected my phone, my laptop, my earbuds, the router cable, and then unscrewed my bedroom door off its hinges and carried it to the garage. Grounded for a month. School and home. Nothing else. The first week I was just angry. I reorganized my closet twice. I read the backs of shampoo bottles. The window became my television. I knew which neighbors left when, whose sprinklers ran at noon, which cars never moved. That is how I noticed the Novaks. They lived directly across from us. 2 kids, a baby, and a big orange dog that lived in their front window. On Tuesday, their dog barked for almost 3 hours straight. I figured a delivery spooked it. Wednesday morning, both their cars were still in the driveway at 10. Mr. Novak left for work at 7 every single day. I told myself people take days off. That afternoon, the porch light was still on from the night before. The dog was not in the window anymore. That night, my parents drove my sister to a dance recital 2 towns over. Before leaving, Dad stopped at my doorway, the empty frame where my door used to be, and said, "A month means a month. Do not test me." 20 minutes after they left, I looked across the street again. Every light in the Novak house was on. Nothing was moving inside. Their trash cans were still at the curb from Monday. I tried to talk myself out of it. Then I remembered the baby. I had watched Mrs. Novak walk that baby up and down the driveway every evening since spring, and I had not seen either of them in 2 days. I told myself I would knock once and come straight back. 90 seconds. I crossed the street in socks. I knocked. Nothing. Rang the bell. Nothing. Then I heard the dog somewhere deep in the house. Not barking, just this low, scraping whine. The door was unlocked. Inside, the air felt wrong. Warm and stale and thick. Somewhere upstairs, a smoke alarm was chirping. 1 weak beep every minute. The sound of a dying battery. Except it was not the smoke alarm. Mr. Novak was on the kitchen floor, breathing, but gray. Mrs. Novak was on the couch like she had sat down and never gotten up. I screamed their names. Mr. Novak's eyes opened halfway and closed again. I grabbed the baby from the playpen. She was limp, but warm, and I carried her straight out to the lawn, and I went back for the toddler asleep on the rug. My head was already pounding. I called emergency services from the grass. The operator asked if there was a generator or a car running. I looked at the garage. Through the little window, I could see the sedan inside, still running, keys in it, out of gas by then, but it had been running since Tuesday. Mrs. Novak had pulled in, gotten distracted by the baby, and never turned it off. Firefighters dragged everyone out. A paramedic knelt next to me on the lawn and said, "Another hour. This is a very different call." Then my phone buzzed in my hand. My parents. Home early, room empty, door frame empty. 4 missed calls. First voicemail furious, last one shaking. I called back and Dad answered before it rang once. "Where are you?" I turned around and he was already there, standing in the Novak's yard in the ambulance lights, looking at the stretchers, then at me. He opened his mouth, closed it. On the drive home, 20 feet total, nobody spoke. Finally he said, "You were told to stay inside." Long pause. If you had listened. He never finished it. The next morning, my door was back on its hinges. My phone was on my desk. Nobody ever mentioned the month again.